Hey all, welcome back to our class. I hope you have a nice refresh of 5 minutes. As a part of our second class, now we are going to understand more about Postgres SQL, right? Now, why Postgres SQL? I mean, we are going to see the introduction and I'm going to learn you how to install the database, right? Because when you are coming into the IT world, definitely we need to learn how to install some softwares, and this is very handy. So that is the reason I'm going to explain you about the installation process also and its architectural behavior. And the good thing with PostgreSQL is it has a graphical user interface, that means the front end system, and also a command line. If you see some technology movies, they would be working on a black screen, right? So that kind of interface is also there, right? Now, many of us are using no, not many, every one of us are using mobiles, right? Correct? Is it right or wrong? And we have our own
Right.
choice, right? Every someone is using Apple, someone is Samsung, LG, whatever it may be. But good thing is, if you are if you know how to use one mobile, then definitely you would be habitual. I mean, it's easy for you to use another mobile also, correct? So similarly, if you learn perfectly one database system, right? That means you can easily work with other databases also. Trust my word, take my word, right? You don't need to worry that, oh, I learned PostgreSQL, I don't know about MySQL. Or else, oh, I learned Teradata, but I need to work on Sybase. No, not like that. All the database systems which has structured query language interpretation, that you can easily work on it by understanding some basic things, right? Like a mobile. Once you started using touch screen mobile, then you can be comfortable with any of other mobiles, right? Just someone who is using Android, when he switches to Apple, initially couple of days he may face some discomfort, but he can manage it. Similarly, once you learned about the structure query language and understanding about one database management system, then it would be easier for you. That is the reason, as a minor subject, I included PostgreSQL also, because my students who are going to get job on the Power BI, that they should be aware of one database system. It should not be blank like that. No, my trainer just learned me about PostgreSQL. I don't know about, no, that should not be the case. Yes, I know about the database. I know about the SQL. That is the confident level that you should be going to gain, right? Now let us see what is PostgreSQL. Why Harish has chosen it, right? So it's a object relational database management systems. Now I understand you people are well aware of relational database management system. Is my understanding correct? If someone has a doubt, please say no so that I'm going to explain you. Okay. It's important one thing, if you know, fine, you can be silent, but if you don't know, then you should shout. Okay. That is the basic thumb rule. If you're not
Please
say,
explain.
yeah, thank you very much. So the if you see in our previous class, we created, I mean, we are storing our data in multiple tables, correct? And these tables are interrelated in a form of star schema. This relationship, a product ID having a relation with the sales table, a date is going to have a relation with the sales table, right? So since there is a relationship is there, we are calling it as a relational database management system, right? Whichever the database that is going to help us in creating the tables and giving us an opportunity to create a relations between these tables. That is called relational database management system, right? And we are going to learn how to create these relationships between the table. Okay, is it clear now what it mean by relationship database management ship relational database management? Similarly, objects, right? So what is object is, suppose if you have an object, right, and it has the feasibility, I mean, say you have a function, mathematical function, right? If you give two numbers of multiplication function, then you will get the output multiplication of it, right? And you don't bother about what is the operation it is performing. That means we create an object where it tells that, okay, boss, you can give two inputs and you are going to get an output of multiplication. So those are called objects. Our PostgreSQL supports both object and relational database management system. And it is developed by University of California at Berkeley Computer Department. How many of you heard about University of California? I think this is a prestigious institute in America, right? And Berkeley's computer department is also. And PSQL is a open source descent of its original Berkeley code. It supports large part of SQL standards and offers many modern features. So our PLSQL is a open source. Open source means, as I told you, right? Okay. So Kingsley, University of California is one of the prestigious university in the United States of America. Okay. And they have a computer department, that is Berkeley. So there it is developed. So if you see, in each and every country, we are going to have some prestigious universities, right? So our PostgreSQL is developed under in University of California, and it's a open source, which means it's a free of cost, and it can support complex queries, foreign case. So we are going to see all these things one by one. Okay. PostgreSQL can be extended by the users like data types, functions, right? So we are going to touch base majority of topics as a part of our learning. Because of the liberal licensing, PostgreSQL can be used, modified, and distributed anyone free of charge for any purpose, private, commercial, academic. So this is one of the good thing, right? Now, if I go to some history of PostgreSQL, okay, uh, I would request you guys to go through this article in detail, but I'm going to touch some important points to just highlight you why we have picked up PostgreSQL. Now, as I told you, like Postgres it has came as a project. So if you remember, uh, in our academics, we are supposed to do a project in our final year, right? Similarly, in 1986, almost 35 years back, right? So it has started as a project by Michael Stonebreaker, sponsored by Defense Advanced Research Project, Army Research Office, and National Science Foundation. So if you Google these organizations, these are the one of the prestigious organization in the United States, right? So they have funded this project, and it has started as a project, and it has developed, evolved, and it has converted into Postgres 95 in the year 1995, I think, right? And if you see, this is being used in, there is one point also there. Let me show you. Where is that one? 1995 release and new systems has been used, implemented many different research and production platforms. So if you see, financial data analysis systems, jet engine performance monitoring. Just think of it. Something that we are collecting data for jet engine means we would be having huge amount of data. I mean, jet engine means it would be calculating in the nanoseconds. An asteroid tracking database, medicine information, and several geographic information. So if you see the key points, it is sponsored by the prestigious organizations and it is being used by the top domains like jet engine performance, asteroid tracking. That means this database is capable of providing required supports in that area, required support. The size of external user community nearly doubled during 1993, so it becomes increasing obvious that maintenance of prototype code support was taken unlarge amounts of time that should be devoted to database research. So in an effort to reduce this support, Berkeley's Postgres project officially ended this version. So with this growing demand, finally they have released it to the open source. Now Postgres 95 code was completely ANSI trimmed by 25% size. So this is a brief history, right? Another point which I want to remember is in 1996, it became clearly the name of Postgres 95. And what happened now? It has integrated with SQL. So if you see, we choose a name for PostgreSQL to reflect relationship between Postgres and the recent version of SQL capability. So what happened? In 1996, they have developed this particular database that it is fully capable of handling all the SQL queries, structured query language. So that is the reason just they added few more three letters SQL and they termed it as PostgreSQL, right? So the journey started from 1986 from the prestigious university and by the prestigious areas, right? And slowly it has evolved and current version we are seeing is PostgreSQL, which is fully supported SQL version. Now, trust me, if you are having fully hands-on with PostgreSQL, then in Amazon also we have the NoSQL, SQL. There are Amazon databases are there. They also use SQLs. Athena is there in Amazon. It's a database. You can practice that also, right? That is about S3. Now, if I go for the architecture, I just need to show the architecture of PostgreSQL, right? Now, the fundamentals of PostgreSQL is it follows a client server model. Anyone heard about this one? Client server. Can I just want to know what is your understanding on the client server? Can you post it in the chat channel? What do you mean by the term client and the term server? Okay, I'm going to explain you. Thanks. Now I'm getting a good response. Okay, so um, let us take any branch bank, right? If you see a branch is going to have an head office and subsequently it is going to have multiple branches, right, in different cities, countries, right? Now if you see, the branch office are like a front face for the head office, correct? Will you agree with me or not? So branch office that is going to become as a front office and it's going to do all the operations. Suppose if you want to give a loan, if you want to open an account, then we will go to the branch and we will provide the instructions. And what the branch will do is on behalf of the server, it takes that request and it sends the information to the head office, and central servers process that one, and they will do the job. Correct? Is it clear, this example? Similarly, in our IT world, majority of things work as a client and server. Now, if I compare the example with this one, here in our banking example, the branch acts as a client, the head office acts as a server. Okay? Even all our key IT infrastructure, centrals, everything, server, they would be keeping at the head office, right? Now, before we should understand the Postgres system architecture, that what is it? A server process which manages the database files accepts connections to the database from the client applications. Now, client applications can be anything that is developed by our PostgreSQL. We call our client application as pgadmin4, and we have a command line interface and performs database actions on behalf of clients. So suppose I tell on the client mission, I want to create a database. So this information, this request, it will send to the server, and the server performs creation of database and it sends the response. Okay, boss, I created you a database. Suppose in case of due to any issue, it is not able to create the database, it sends an error message. Sorry, I'm not able to create due to so and so reason. That's right. So a server process which manages the database files, right? It manages your entire database system, accept connections to database from client, and performs the action to database. And here in our case, the server program is called as Postgres. Okay. Mm. Similarly, we have a client application, the user client application that wants to perform database operation. Client applications can be very diverse in nature. A client could be a text-oriented tool, graphical web server that access the database to display web pages and database. Some client applications are supplied by PostgreSQL. Now, um, Kingsley, since you are not, you didn't hear about thing, I just want to tell you, uh, whenever you open a Gmail, right? So you are going to see the information related to all your mails, correct? Will you agree with me or
Yes,
not? Yeah.
yes,
Now in this case, your laptop, right, or the web browser, that is a client, right? Web browser is a client. Now, whenever you send a request to the server, to the Google, right? Now here Google, which is sitting in its head office, right? Again, Google has different head office in the across the world. Now that is the server. Now the information you send, that you would be entering your password, user ID and password from the client mission, and this client mission sends the request, and if those credentials valid, then the server does the job for you. It keeps storing the mails. Even if you see all your mails, files, nothing is stored on your laptop, correct? Everything is stored on the Google server. So similarly, our PostgreSQL also structured in two parts. One is server part that we call as PostgreSQL, Postgres. Okay. And clients can be anything, because Postgres has the capability to connect other clients also. So it provides a connection. We call it as a ODBC, database connection, right? Oracle database connection, like that. So with that connection, any client tool can be used. As a typical client server, the client and the server can be on different hosts, obviously. In that case, we would be having TCP IP network. So it's common, right? Whenever we are connecting a system across the network, then these TCP IP network connections and those comes into the play. Now the database is make sure that even though multiple clients are connecting, one process for each client is initiated and it is seamlessly working on, right? Are you clear with the architecture and the history of PostgreSQL? Any doubts? Thank you very much, Kingsley. Okay. Uh, for others also, I just want to make sure the basics we will repeat multiple times, but we should be clear with the topic. Okay. Fine. Now let us see how to install the database. Okay. So I have prepared a step-by-step document on the installation process. In the document, it is having older version, huh? So we need to pick the latest version. Where is Power BI installation guide? Yeah, this Power BI and Postgres again they're similar names, so at times I get confused. PostgreSQL installation guide, right? So whenever you want to install the PostgreSQL, you need to go to this particular site. I'm just posting this channel. If you are not distracting, then you can try it in parallel, okay? But first of all, my suggestion is you should be watching the class, okay? But some students are more enthusiastic and they ask us to do it. So let me open that one. Even we have the downloads, okay? You can open that one or you can click on downloads, right? And once you open this portal, I have provided clearly the instructions. So you have the download installer, right? If you see, choose the download installer. Click on it. So select the Windows. And if you see here, we have the download the installer. Guys, please make sure you need to select you need to select based on your operating system. And I requested all the students to use Windows only since you are learning a new topic and new to the IT. So it's better that you are using same Windows so that there won't be no confusion, right? Windows, click on download the installer, right? When you click on the download installer in the next page, you are going to see the versions, right? So it is pretty straightforward. In this, the latest is 16.2, Windows X 8664. You need to download this one, right? So you need to click on this download for Windows 64. So once you downloaded this one, then you would be having the .exe file. I am not downloading it again. See this one, PostgreSQL 16.exe, right? So you just need to double click on it so that it will show you the installation guide. Okay, since already it is installed for me, I'm just showing you the screenshots. Okay, so this is how it's going to show you. Once the .exe file is installed, you need to open this .exe file so that it will open this particular window, EDB Postgres package installation. Click on next. So you would be having an installation directory, right? This would be under C program files. Just verify this one. Click on next. And it would be showing the 4 list of items. So one is PostgreSQL server that we discussed, right? Our server. pgadmin 4 is the client tool. Stack builder is the advanced one. Please make sure you are unchecking this one, right? And the command line is our again a client tool. Okay. Now next, click next so that you will be having data directory. So again, click on next. And I would request you, mm, please create your own password. Make it a simple one, and please don't forget it one. To be honest, even I'm also not sure how to replace this I mean, how to reset the password if we forget it. Okay. So my kind request is, whatever the password you keep it, just remember it. Next. Guys, can you go on mute? Either one or someone is not. Thank you. Port number, it would also be automatic defaultly populated. And in the next page, you will having a installation summary. For all of you, I would request you to copy this information in a notepad and save it. Okay. If you face any issues in your installation, right, I am going to help you because this is needed for me to debug what is the error you have. Adinkya, I will come back to you. Can you post your doubt in the chat channel, please? Okay. So once you click on next, then your installation would be progress. So once you complete your installation, just make sure this tag builder is unchecked and do a finish button. If you click on it, then it will further open another window. Again, it's a waste of time. So please make sure stack builder is unchecked, right? So once you click on finish, then go to your start menu. In the start menu, right? If you go to the applications or you can search here, you can type pg admin, right? Elephant head is our logo because our Postgres is smarter, bigger, and faster, like a elephant, right? Just click on this app, pgadmin 4, then let it be loading. I have someone has posted. I think because of I'm on my computer laptop, it requesting for admin username and password.
As my company, sorry, I just wanted to
Okay,
see where
okay, we will connect it later, huh? After the class. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Hari, I think you are muted, Hari.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I hope I just muted, huh? Thank you very
It's
much.
been like 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, at least 2 to 3 minutes you're muted. You were telling about some servers, all those, the
Okay,
tabs you're telling over there.
tabs now. Thank you very much. I will start from them. Okay. So once you open this one, right, in their dashboard, you can see the home page. This is for management tool for your PostgreSQL. What I'm saying is, y- if you go to the left side top here, you are having these servers. Okay. So many students normally get confused once it is open. They feel that, okay, we are not sure where we want to click. So that's why I'm repeating this again. On the left side top in the servers, you just need to expand this one. Okay. So whenever you expand it, it's going to ask you the password. Normally, I don't do go for save password. I would suggest you the same. Click on it, right? So if you see, there is a list of items, those are expanded. For let me collapse this one, right? So this is the server. Under this server, PostgreSQL 16 is my Postgres database engine. Under this, I have 10 databases because almost, I mean, this is my 14th class batch, I think, right? So for you, probably you are going to see only this one, Postgres, because this is the default database, right? So once you select any database, then if you see the query tool image would be enabled, active, right? So whenever you want to perform any SQLs, then we need to open the query tool. And this query tool you can open when you select any one of the database. Suppose if you are unselecting that database, then this query tool would be deactivated. See, right? Why I'm repeatedly saying this one? Because student normally come says that for you this button is active, for me it is not active, so I'm stuck. Okay. So for you also this query tool to be active, that you need to select one database at least, right? Then click on query tool or alt shift. Okay. So here is our query tool. It's like a simple notepad. Yes, the password I entered is the one that I created when I'm installing. Okay, correct, Stefan. Right? Now, in this query tool, this is like a plain notepad, right? So here we can start creating the databases and tables, right? So, and just remember this one, it's very important to which database we are connected, because when you are running a particular SQL query, right? So to which database you connected, that query would be applied onto that database. So if you see here, PostgreSQL is the user ID slash PostgreSQL is our engine, right? And the user ID database and our database engine, right? Suppose if I select Citibank and open another query, see, database name slash user ID, because if you remember, I logged in with PostgreSQL, right? Since it's a local mission, normally we keep the default user ID. When you are in the organization, then you would be having a common user ID or the individual user ID. At the rate your PostgreSQL 16 database engine, right? Database name, user ID, and our database engine, right? Now we have connected, and command line interface we will see. Before that, shall we create a one database? So now I'm going to show you how simple and easy is a SQL. Okay. So if you want to create anything, or if you want to ask someone to create mm, anything, right? You want to create how you say to other person. Suppose if you want to make a coffee, or if you want to create a picture, you want to ask your baby, hey, can you create a toy? Can you create something, right? What you say? How you will ask them? Is my question clear? If you want to create a presentation, if you want to ask your employee to create a presentation, you will go to that employee and what you say? Someone has posted. Yeah,
You
make
just
a T, or
you
we'll
just
say,
say create a presentation.
yeah, we'll go and say, hey, can you create a presentation for me? Hey, can you create a document for me, right? Hey, can you please create a resume for me? Similarly, same thing. The good thing with SQL is it's almost like our natural English language. Now, I want to create a database. Database is like a house, right? Just remember, if you want to store or if you want to live, the first thing what we will think is, okay, I want to build a house. Within that, I should be having different rooms, living room, kitchen, bedroom, right? Differently. Similarly, when it comes to organization, you know that you want to have something to store your data. Now, first thing comes in your mind is, okay, I'm going to use a database to store my data. So once you created a database, now you need to think of it, okay, how many rooms is needed for me? That means how many tables are needed for me? Now, can you give me an example? For what organization or domain shall we create our database?
Supermarket.
Supermarket, okay. Adinkya, can you try to increase the speaker? Uh, okay, now supermarket. What is the name of that supermarket? First of all, what happened? Na? All the designers come and sit in the boardroom. So they will have a board and they decided, okay, now we are the normally projects comes like this only, right? Now think of it that we are the employees of an organization. Now we got a project to build a database for a supermarket. Now I have Walmart is there. What is the supermarket that is famous in US here? Because, or shall I take Reliance? Reliance Mart is also very famous here. Reliance Mart. Okay. Now I want to build a database solution for one of the booming or one of the upcoming, not upcoming, it's a very big Reliance Smart, right? So I got the name. My database name is Reliance Smart, right? So like once you decided you got the space, now you need to come up with what are the rooms you should be having in your house, right? So that means you should be knowing what kind of tables I should be having. Now, whenever we have a Reliance Mart database, in that I need to have the tables for customers, right? To store customer information and products, because whenever we say a supermarket, definitely there would be lot of products would be there and we need to store all those products, right? And employee, right? ELOY. What tables can we have? Important thing is sales, right? Sales. So these are my rooms. Now, if
Suppliers.
yeah, now if I want to tell to the database that I need to, did you skip? Yeah, I skipped row 2 on purpose because this is the database name. Guys, whenever you want to create any comments in your SQL, right? We can put dash rows, okay? This is the database, my database, okay? And these are tables, right? And just I would request you to correlate this one to your house. Now, if you want to create a database, I am going to simply tell to the database, create what to create database. all the SQL queries should be ending with semicolon. Okay, for the database to tell that yes, I am done with writing my query, now you execute, then we need to end up with an semicolon. Okay, and also we should not be maintaining any spaces between the names. Okay, whenever you are giving a name of a database or table name or anything, you should not be giving a space, either you should be using underscore. Now select this query, either you can click on play button or use F5. So my connection got timeout, but let me see if the database, yeah, see, create database, query returned successfully. Now, if we want to see whether database is created or not, go to the database, right click, refresh. See here, right? Now, if you observe one thing, the databases, those are showing in different colors, right? And symbol. So if a database is not connected, then it is going to show in gray color with a cross mark. Now, if it is connected, it is going to show in the yellow color, right? Now, the good thing is we want to create our tables, everything in the Reliance Mart, correct? So that means I am supposed to execute all these things by connecting to the Reliance Mart. So let me connect this one by expanding. Now it is connected. Now let me open a query tool. Okay. So Reliance Smart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut everything and paste here. I will be coming to my window. Let me close this one also because I don't need now. So guys, we should be, not can, we should be storing all our work, right? Every time. Suppose if you're writing something on a notepad or PowerPoint, the first thing you do is you save that file, right? Similarly, whatever the practice we are doing, that we need to save that file. Alt S, or you have the save button. All the SQL files would be stored with an extension of .sql, right? So I would request you to create a folder today itself as a practice or PSQL or whatever it may be, and store. Here I'm going to store this file as Reliance. Save. Now this file every time. So I can close now and I can open it, like open file, Reliance Smart. So now we are going to continue our classes by opening this file and adding further more here. Okay. Are you clear with how to create a database? Okay. The shortcut is a cut and paste here. So what I did is I selected everything. Suppose normally we use right click, cut, and I pasted the same thing by right click, paste. Okay. Stephen, is it clear? Stephania?
No, no,
Eh,
when you were explaining earlier, you
eh,
said the play
Ha,
button, there was a
that is
shortcut for the play.
no, okay. Play button is to execute
Yeah.
our SQLs. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you have completed writing your SQL query, to execute that one, that means to send the instruction to database, that we need to click on execute button or F5, right?
Okay.
Let
Okay.
me
Thank you.
create one more database similarly. Create database test underscore DB. Select it everything. Run. Database is created. Suppose if I refresh it, Normally it shows in the alphabetical order test database. So whenever the good thing is, whenever you're done with your, please save that one. Okay, save it. Now, PG admin 4 is the graphical user interface, correct? Similarly, if you remember, we have installed a command line interface, right? CLI. Now the name for CLI is PSQL, SQL shell. So this is another client tool, okay? Because I just want to make sure my students are having some hands-on from both front end and the back end, right? So if you open this one, command line is a black screen. Now here you need to type the commands or instructions to run your thing, right? Now server, if you see localhost, so since we are installing our software on our local machine laptop, so server name would be same, localhost. Enter. Database name, PostgreSQL is the default one, okay? But if you want to connect to different one, then you can give that database name. Now here I have Reliance Smart, right? So I can give the Reliance Smart. Spelling should be accurate, huh? RELIANCE_Mart. My port is 5433, so I'm going to give the same. Username, same, Postgres. Guys, another important thing is it is going to ask the password, okay? While you are entering the password, your cursor just go on blinking. It won't change the position, right? So just remember at a times what happened, students think that cursor is not moving, so they repeatedly enter the password, so they will get an error or it may lock. Okay, see now I'm started typing my password. I completed typing my password, but cursor is there only, right? So once you completed your password entering, click on enter. See, now you are connected to the Reliance Smart. Now on the front end, we have the option to expand it, right? And see, okay, I know this many databases are there. But on backend or the on command line interface, you need to you can get that one by giving the commands and /L. L means listing. So /L gives you the list of database available for you. See? So if you are on a backend or command line interface, everything happens through the commands only. I mean, from the backend, we can make our hands more and more dirty, but with that, we can learn more and more. Now, if you want to see what are all the database tables available in the particular database, then you can do /D display. Did not find any relationship. So that means, okay, in our Reliance Smart, we don't have any tables as of now, right? So all our tables would be under schema. It's public, see here, tables. So for your understanding, let me show you this same thing in another table, another database, okay? Suppose if I connected to Citibank. In this Citibank, I have a schema. In that, if you see the tables we have here, see. Right? Yeah, Banky, I will come to you. Can you post your doubt in the chat channel? I will just explain this one and come back to your query. Okay. Suppose in the front end GUI, suppose if I want to connect to another database, right? I just click on it and I open the query tool, right? On the backend, if you want to connect to another database, you need to use /C and provide the database name. city underscore bank underscore db. Enter. You are now connected to the database as user Postgres. Now, if you want to see what are all the tables or other objects available in this database, /d. See, I have a accounts table, car sales table, customer table, and I have a view, customer basic information. I am going to explain you what it is view, right? So in today's class, right, in the part 2, we have seen introduction about PostgreSQL, its architecture and installation of it. And also we have created a database, right? And we have seen from both graphical user interface and command line, right? We didn't created any table. I will pause here, okay, in the interest of time. So in tomorrow's class, we are going to see how we can create the tables and loading the data into it. Okay, so we'll pause the class here.